Take a screenshot right now if you want to. This to me is easily the best tactic ever created on Football Manager 2022. I have proof. I'm going to show it to you. My buddy actually shared this tactic with me on Discord, but back then my laptop was indisposed, or I couldn't actually play Football Manager back then. So I was always saying that I'm going to get around to testing out this tactic for him. And then finally I had the opportunity to do that, and then I tested it out with two of the Italian sides, Napoli and AC Milan. Initially I had Napoli in mind, and then I brought in Milan because they have this unique striker in Brahim Diaz. But this is the tactic so far. You can take a screenshot if you want. The results from this tactic currently that I got were already in the 30th of May 2022. So I actually went through the entire season. No opposition instructions, no set piece routines, no internal player instructions. I kid you not. That's why I say you can actually take a screenshot of the tactic screen right now. And then looking at the competition, then looking at the way the two teams, Napoli and AC Milan, absolutely outplayed everyone in the Serie A. The closest team to them was AS Roma, and they had 79 points. Napoli and Milan had 95 and 93 points respectively. By the way, Milan were predicted to finish in 3rd place, and Napoli for some reason were predicted to finish in 5th. And then I felt that they are quite better than 5th position, but that's where the game actually predicted them to finish in this new database. So looking at how the teams went there, Napoli, they got knocked out in the semi-final of the Italian Cup, and then they also got knocked out in the quarterfinal of the Champions League as well. So both teams actually had good Champions League campaigns. Looking at the Champions League, currently Tottenham actually went on to win the Champions League despite everything. And then looking at the group stage, then we can see all the groups, and then we can look at Napoli actually finished 2nd behind Liverpool, 1 point behind Liverpool, and then they actually lost to PSG, but then they beat PSG and Cluj twice by 5-0, 3-0. Then they drew with Liverpool as well. Looking at AC Milan, Milan actually qualified from the group with 2 defeats and then 12 points as well. They were in the same group with Chelsea and Atletico Madrid. Before we go into the stats in detail, I'm actually going to take you through the tactic. Like I mentioned before, there are no player instructions. There's a super keeper on support. The one tweak I actually did to the tactic when my buddy gave it to me was he had a super keeper on defend duty, but then I just swapped the super keeper from defend to support duty because I'm going to be testing it out with Napoli, or the Napoli goalkeeper and the AC Milan goalkeeper actually have good eccentricity, so they are designed to play as super keepers on support. So that's just the one change I made. Inverted wing back on attack duty, 2 ball playing defenders on defend, wing back on support, no instructions, defensive midfielder on defend duty, central midfielder on support duty as well, attacking midfielder slightly towards the left hand side, closer to the winger on the left on support duty. There's an inside forward on attack duty, and then the advanced forward on attack duty as well. Looking at the team instructions then, looking at the out of possession instruction, the team has been asked to play with a much higher level of engagement and a higher defensive line. They've been also asked to use offside trap and then much more often trigger press. Also, they've been asked to prevent goalkeeper distribution and get stuck in. When the team is in transition, they've been asked to counter press and then to counter, and then the goalkeeper has been instructed to play or distribute the ball to the fullbacks. The mentality is attacking, by the way, and I think I like that. I kind of prefer attacking to positive mentality, although that's kind of where I switch between both mentalities. I kind of enjoy those two. But here is attacking mentality. Pass into space has been checked on for this team, and then something very unique I don't do very often in Football Manager, but I think it's probably what makes this tactic so unique and what makes it so hard for the AI to defend against it. The team has been asked to look for the underlap on the left hand side and the overlap on the right hand side, while they've been asked to play out of defense with short passing and slightly higher tempo. They've been asked to play low crosses into the box and then walk the ball into the box as well. Like I mentioned, no opposition instruction for this tactic, no set piece instruction to touch. This is basically how the tactic is. And like I also mentioned, there are no internal player instructions. I can actually click through everybody. There are no internal player instructions for this tactic. Everyone is just blank down to their player roles, and that's all they're going to need to execute this tactic. Back to the stats in detail, then you can see that both teams, Napoli actually scored 102 goals in the Serie A alone, and then Milan had 97 goals in the Serie A combined. That's probably, if my math is good anyway, 199 goals between those two teams just in the Serie A. Well, not even talking about the other competitions that they played, because they probably scored a lot of goals as well. Looking at the most points per game, 2.5 points per game for AC Milan. Looking at the, I need to actually check the XG. For some reason, I need to know where I can go and check that. I kind of forget. With looking at the team's instruction in detail, then we can see that the highest amount of possession, they were right up there in 4th and 5th with 54% possession. And then looking at the amount of goals conceded, fewest conceded was by Inter Milan, and then Napoli and Milan are right up there, so 31 and 32 respectively. I'm going to jump to Napoli now because I want to see the stats from their own point of view. And then looking at player stats, then we can see that the most assists came from two players, Napoli's Matteo Politano and Dybala from AS Roma, and then Brahim Diaz is in there as well with 11 assists. Politano actually had 18 assists. That's just unique. The most goals came from Ciro Immobile, and then Osimhen was behind him with 27. Immobile actually had 39, and Tammy Abraham had 37. So from what I'm seeing here, for both teams to actually score that high amount of goals without having any players in the top 2 top goal scorers list, it means the goal was spread across every single player in the team. So it means everybody was chipping in with goals at some point in the entire season for each team. So I'm going to attach a link in the description so you can download the tactic for yourself and then see how it works out for you and see if you actually have managed to score just as many goals as Napoli and AC Milan have managed to score in this particular test that I did in Football Manager 2022. Also, as the tactic is set up, I think if you're playing FM 2021 and FM20 as well, probably FM19 too, you should probably be able to recreate this tactic based on the rules that are here, because I think these rules are identical even in previous Football Manager games. So you can actually try this tactic out for yourself in your previous Football Manager games, and then you can let me know in the comment section if it actually works out in those games as well. That's the summary of the tactic, guys. I'll catch you with more Football Manager overpowered tactics like this, and I'll see you in the next video.